usually don't attempt a series that is this small, but I was so in love with the other books that I thought I would try this one. There's only 3 books in this so far, but this is a new series by Lauren Elliott, and I just enjoyed the other one, so I just thought I'd give this a try. This is Crystals and Curiosity Teas Mystery Series. And there's an awful lot to unpack in book 1. A serious amount of stuff to unpack in book 1. And we've got the others. And this one. Just the 3. And we're introduced to Shay. And she's recently gotten a divorce from a really crooked, horrible, horrible human being. And she's going back home, and she lives in this small, small town. Her sister lives there, Jen, and her brother-in-law, Dean, and Joanne, her sister's friend, and Bridget Early. Apparently, this woman named Bridget Early left Shay this big, huge inheritance. And Shay has never heard of this woman, Bridget. Never. So, hey, before I forget, it's the D. Louise book series. Please hit the like and subscribe. This is where I read books, talk about books, no special effects, no G music, none of that fancy stuff going on here. Sorry. So, anyways, she's been through this horrible divorce. He's wiped her out of everything. He's framed her for half a dozen different things, accused her of all this kind of stuff. And she's just like, that's it. She's leaving. And she's going back to the small town. And the biggest reason why is this lady, Bridget Early, left her store and her house and all of her stuff. And she was a lady that read tea leaves and could tell the future and stuff like that. And there's a mystery as to why Bridget Early left Shay all this stuff. And also, she has to... Tassie is Joanne's niece. And Tassie works at Joanne's shop. But Tassie hates it there. And she loves Bridget's shop. So, she's going to go work for Shay, but we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. So Shay is like, when she first arrives, she's on the fence about whether or not she's going to actually purchase and take the place and not sell it. And at first, the real estate agent's like, oh, you'll love it, blah, blah, blah. Then, apparently, sometime, this really wealthy guy comes to the real estate agent and says, I want this place, and this is the only place I want, and I'll pay you XYZ. So then the real estate agent's like, sell, 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 sell. In the meantime, she meets this really sexy guy, Liam, who owns the bar next door. And during their just like walkthrough type situation, type checking the place out, checking the merchandise out, a dead guy is found on the roof. Not her roof, but his roof, but the connecting roofs. So there's a murder mystery. Why was this guy murdered? And it all ties in to this Bridget Early lady. And it turns out she just did not just die, she was murdered. And who murdered her and why? And who murdered the guy on the roof? And who was the guy on the roof? And why was he murdered? All these mysteries tie into Shay. And also, their sheriff is crooked. Huge, huge, huge crooked. And you never see him. You never see him. He's talked about off stage, but you never see the sheriff at all. He's referred to off stage. Dean, the brother-in-law, is front and center for everything. And the killer is... usually there's either a killer that's in your face the whole book, or there's a killer who doesn't show up to the end, or there's the hi, goodbye, the drop-in killer. Well, this is a combo. This is a killer that you really don't see very often. They do make appearances, but they're not one-on-one appearances. I spotted so-and-so doing a drive-by. Or, I heard about so-and-so was over there. but there's never the one-on-one with the killer until the end. And even though she's in this small town and she's trying to start a new thing, her ex-husband is accusing her of all this different stuff, and the police are investigating. Oh, well, she stole from the store. I gave it to my girlfriend, and she has all this cutie codes. She's like, how many miles away, and she doesn't even have a car? Shay is running around town on a bicycle. So tell me, how did she get to the airport? Did you see a taxi come by anywhere? Are there any taxi records that she took to the airport? No. And she has an alibi. So her ex-husband is as crooked gets. And I get the feeling we're going to be doing a little bit of tea reading or gypsy stuff, or a little tidbit of hocus pocus in the future books. A little bit of the sight. I think Shay's got a little bit of it. And she's got to train it, though. She's got to nurture that talent. And at first, her sister's all for it. And then at some point, her sister turns, and you just really want to punch your sister out. You need to sell this place. You need blah, blah, blah. Pierre's pestering, blah, 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 blah. Julia, why do you... Jen, why do you care? What? Why? Because your best friend, this is your best friend thing? Oh, and the best friend's got a secret, and it's not really a secret. The best friend went off to Paris when she was a kid, teenager, late teens, and got pregnant. And she came back and she married, what's-his-face. And what's-his-face probably knows the kid's not his. But he's been raising the kid as his own. And now Pierre, the love of her life, is back. And she's like, oh, Pierre, oh, I love you. And everybody's like, you got to keep the secret that the kid's not this one, that it's that one. And because he looks exactly like Pierre. But nobody cares. Nobody cares. And the adoptive father doesn't care either. He believes the kid is in his heart, the kid is his. It may be not biologically related, but he's raised the kid since the beginning, and he's been there with the kid since the beginning. So in his heart, the kid is his, and mind, the kid is his. So he really doesn't care either. And Pierre has no interest in the kid either, so it doesn't matter. So we have a quick, we don't even see another character that's talked about briefly there is Adam Ward, who used to be Shay's high school sweetheart. And he's mentioned like 1 or 2 times, but he's not on stage. He's not in our face. We don't actually meet him until the end of the book. Till the case is solved, end of the book. So that was, he'll probably be prominent in later books. But that was just, a lot of people are mentioned. And it's going to take a while to get to know all the core characters. It's going to take a while. But there's only 3 books right now. So it's going to take a really long time. It wasn't like the other series, where the other series had 8, 9 books in it. And we could do a good binge read and get to know the characters. This is going to be a little slower, because I started the books too early. And it's going to be a gradual thing. It may take a couple of years, but we can do 3 right now. So we got introduced to all the characters here. We got introduced Spirit the dog, who really is a very intelligent dog. And I'm waiting for some mystical revelation about the dog. So anyways, where was I? So, Shay had this horrible divorce from this horrible man. She's escaping. She comes to the small town. She inherits the shop. She inherits the cottage. She rides around town on a bicycle. And Tessa becomes her assistant in the store. And we'll have to see how much she actually spends in the store, because the other characters in the other books are always leaving their assistants to go amateur sleuthing. No one can wait till the store closes. No, we got to do it in the middle of business day. It always happens that way. So, trial and tribulations with people trying to get her to sell the shop and sell the cottage, and the real estate agent is bugging her like crazy, and Pierre wants the place, and he's offering all this money, and then this lady offers to buy all her stuff, and she makes a mint off this lady, and then this lady's store is broken into, and the fingers are pointing at Shay, and she's like, she doesn't have any transportation. She doesn't have any way of getting to these places, and these places are a few hours away. Excuse me, the woman's driving around town on a bicycle. She's not going to Timbuktu to rob your store. She just sold you these items. She doesn't want them back. And she got a good price for the items. She made enough to survive for several months, so she's good. Plus, she inherited a couple dollars too, but she learns that through the book. And we always hear about the crooked sheriff. Like I said, he's not even on stage. I don't even think we actually meet him face to face. We just hear about him. He's never really on stage. It's mostly Dean. And Bridget has tons of secrets. I am sure that we'll be 20 books in, if the series goes that long, that we'll still be learning stuff about Bridget, and she'll still be finding secret cubby holes in Bridget's house. And we're going to slowly get to know Liam. I can see it. But, and Tassie has a lot to offer to Shay in her shop. And so it's going to be an interesting series. So, who murdered Bridget? Who murdered the guy on the roof? Who was the guy on the roof? What's his involvement in it? What secrets does Shay uncover about her own personal self in the book? And the real reason Bridget left her all this stuff. There's a really, 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 really good reason. And Shay will uncover it, and she will share this with her sister. And her sister's like, okay, we're still sisters. I still love you. And Shay is just like ever grateful, like, she's her sister. She's not going to hate you. But anyways, so that's your mystery. Who's the guy on the roof? Who murdered Bridget? And how were those things connected to Shay? And what are all the secrets Bridget was keeping? And wishing her luck with Liam, maybe? And Spirit, she needs to feed the dog. Everybody else is feeding the dog, but her. But, she needs to get, she's happy on her bicycle, I guess, but she needs to get a car for the winter seasons, because it's going to snow. Or might snow. She's on the West Coast, so it might not snow that much. It might be a sprinkle or two, but there'll be rain. So we'll see what happens there. So it was an interesting start to the series. A boatload of information to unpack. It's just thrown at you. There's so much information to absorb. Who everybody is, the introduction of all the characters. It was good. It's a lot. I took lots of notes. So we'll have to see what happens in Murder in a Cup. And then the newest book is A Spirited Blend, I believe. So we'll have to see what happens. If you could please hit the like and subscribe, I would appreciate it so much. Thumbs up. Have a good one.